Good afternoon and welcome to this week's episode of One-on-One Sports Webcast. I'm Matt Holzapfel.
And I'm Andrew Vendelis. We have a fantastic show for you today, but first Matt and I step into the batter's box for the three strikes.
After Paris Saint-Germain's 2-0 victory over Lyon last week, a massive fight ensued in the locker room between striker Edinson, Cavani and the French club's newest multi-million-dollar signing, Neymar. Apparently, the dispute was instigated by Neymar after he was denied a penalty opportunity during the match, which Cavani ended up missing. Now, Andrew, Neymar is still a very new face for the French squad, but the question must be asked, why do athletes tend to try and take over new teams after they just joined?
Well, it's only one thing, and that's that cash money. I mean, we talked last week about how they had those elusive contracts of $100+ million, and it's really the only answer. It's blowing up their heads when they sign these new deals, and you see it not just in soccer, you see it in every sport, whether it's a big player like Melo signing with the Knicks, immediately trying to take it over. And it's just all about the discussion of, oh, so they paid me this many dollars. I'm going to go in and I'm going to have to play
the money aspect.
This level.
He's getting paid a lot. He's like, I should do this. I'm the multi-million-dollar man. That's me. Here's the thing for me. I think it comes from when he was with Barcelona and, what he does with Brazil, he takes the penalties, so he's used to it. In his career, he's 32 out of 40 on penalties, so that's a respectable 80%. He knows that he can do it, so he said, I should do this because I am reliable, I have experience. But then on the other hand, Cavani's like, I've been here. I'm the captain. I've been here for so long. Why don't I take it? So that's where the problem really, comes because he's used to being looked to as the leader, which is, a surprise seeing as he played with Lionel Messi, who's arguably the best player in the world. And they split penalty duties in Barcelona. But it's really interesting because
I think it's just a little more that the contracts that they sign and that in Neymar's perspective, he's incentivized to lead this team. And in a way, it's like a sort of indirect responsibility. You go from playing with one of the best players in the world like Messi to PSG, who's looking to come back up and win some matches more than they did. And it's just a whole new responsibility that they have to take now.
Yeah, exactly. I see the same thing with Melo. He joined OKC. It's the same type of star who was the focal point on their previous team, joins a new team. We don't really know how they're going to respond to the next team.
The NBA was shaken up once again this weekend with Carmelo Anthony heading to the Oklahoma City Thunder in a 3-player trade. The Thunder now have Russell Westbrook, Paul George, and Melo as their big three and are looking to contend in the West. Matt, does this trade really help them become a contender in the Western Conference?
Absolutely. I love it. And in this day and age of Big Three basketball, they are absolute contender. But let me tell you this. They're going to be a contention in the West. I see them getting a top 5 seed in the playoffs easy. But they're not going to beat Golden State. That's the gist of it.
That's just an obvious, but I don't even think they're going to make it that far. You have the Rockets in the West with the addition of Chris Paul. You have the Spurs looking for blood after their loss in the conference finals, especially with the healthy Kawhi Leonard now. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. If we want to go really bold predictions, you could even say the Lakers and Lonzo Ball will make the playoffs. I just think there's too much
Are we putting Lonzo Ball's Lakers
ahead of the Thunder? No, I'm not saying that, but I do think there could be some chemistry issues stemming there. You have 3 alpha males on the Thunder now when it comes to Paul George and Westbrook and Melo, all people who love to have the ball in their hands for the last shot.
There's only one ball question. That's been thrown around a lot, so that's going to be an issue. I still think they have enough star power to get it done, maybe not so much as KD and Curry and Thompson, who are all in their primes.
But on top of that, I don't think Billy Donovan's that good of a head coach to get it done. And we know that everyone wants to be the guy. And Russ, coming off of his MVP season, is definitely going to look to be the guy. And that might not sit well with Melo or Paul George. I'm looking at you, Kevin Durant.
One thing I want to say really quickly is Russell Westbrook, he's got the reputation as a ball hog, right?
Yep.
He averaged double-digit assists last year. How are you going to say someone who averaged double-digit assists is a ball hog?
It's not that he's doing it because he's a ball hog. It's rather that he's doing it for the stats. And the MVP run was largely attributed to the facts that he just averaged along the 10-11 mark for assists. And you're not talking Chris Paul numbers where he's putting up over 15 in a game or anything. It's just nothing spectacular. Right. And I think that's why there could be some issues there, and the Thunder might not get that far.
Exactly. NFL season is underway, but one of the biggest stories is happening behind the scenes. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell is expected to complete a contract extension soon, but Cowboys owner Jerry Jones is stalling progress, most likely due to how Goodell tried to make an example of one of his star players, Ezekiel Elliott. The commissioner is certainly a controversial figurehead, But does he deserve the contract extension despite all he's known for?
No, this is a little bit of like a stretch, but I don't think he does. No past NFL commissioner, to the degree that Roger Goodell has done, has made himself such a public figurehead. And just under Goodell alone, you're looking at Deflategate, you're looking at Spygate, you're looking at the referee lockout, and now you're looking into an ongoing investigation on brain trauma in the CTE. I just think he just has too much negative attention towards himself.
You know, you brought this up with Neymar, and I'm going to ask you again, what's the name of the game when it comes to sports? It's money.
Yep.
Roger Goodell has brought the NFL to a point where they're making $13 to $14 billion a season. The next closest league is MLB, who's making $10 billion. He says he wants to have him by $25 billion by 2027, and if he's still the commissioner, I don't see why that's not happening. He spearheaded a new TV deal with CBS and Fox. I think because money's the name of the game and all the owners are in favor of money, even Jerry Jones, as much as he doesn't want to admit it, that's why he'll get a new contract extension.
Yeah, but along with that, it all does boil down to the players. Sometimes that's why we have an NFL Players Association, and we've seen a giant just amount of not supporting players who don't like Goodell, and I just think he gasps whenever he speaks, whenever he has to deal with a big issue, and this is a big reason why we have lockouts like that, and some of the fans in the NFL wonder why he still has a job.
It'll be interesting to see if he gets that contract extension.
Well, that's 3 strikes and I'm out, but when we come back, Matt sits down with our 2 NBA experts to talk and tweet about Kevin Durant's social media fiasco.